begins, I wish to express my thanks and gratitude to the entire team at Ag Show Limited that worked feverishly to pull this together and take a moment to single out a handful who were vital to its success. Mr. Antoine Orboy, Exhibition Director, Mr. Kim White, Chairman, Mr. Kirk Kitson in Fundraising, Mr. Jeff Souza with Horticulture, and Mrs. Kathy Bassett and Mrs. Shanta Simmons of the Education Committee. I also want to recognize all the divisional officers and our dedicated team at the Parks Department. Our circumstances are certainly not what we would deem ideal. So I thank everyone for your contribution to this year's not so normal agricultural exhibition. Walking around the grounds to view the entries in this year's show, I can tell you that there is all manner of beautiful flowers and vegetables on display. I particularly enjoyed the school children's exhibits, which, considering the schools were not fully operational for quite some time, I find simply astounding. So whether you watch this program on your television or another electronic device, I expect that, like me, you will come to understand and appreciate the work that, despite the challenges we face, through hard work, commitment, and the ability to adapt, we will overcome. Lastly, I want to remind everyone that each of us has a role to play in stopping the spread of the coronavirus. Follow public health guidelines, wear a mask, practice safe hand hygiene, maintain physical distance, and download the We Health Bermuda app. Do the research, talk with your doctor, and make an informed decision about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. I now welcome our children, seniors, students, visitors, and all of Bermuda to enjoy the Agricultural Exhibition 2021. Thank you.
I'd like to first thank the Minister Birch, Lieutenant Colonel Birch, for coming and opening this limited virtual exhibition for 2021. And I'd like to echo his thoughts and congratulate and thanks to those many individuals, many members of the Parks team who, without their help, without their assistance, who prepared the buildings for us for the many exhibits. I'd like to thank them for the hard work and dedication to preparing the buildings. Also to my fellow committee members who we have worked tirelessly planning this ag show. As the minister said, there were certain changes that had to be made due to COVID-19. Some of the challenges we were unforeseen, and all the school children, particularly the school children who worked in trying times, who for most of them have no idea. Well, for most of them were introduced to remote learning because of the COVID-19. These many school students, with the under direction of their teachers, they participated by doing very many different educational exhibits and displays. Some of the work is very, very outstanding considering the climate they did them under. So then I'd like to once again, thank the various departments of parks, the teachers for their dedication to keeping this, having their students participate, and the many members of my committee members. Thank you and have a good day.
The 81st Agricultural Exhibition virtual event is brought to you by lead sponsor Axis Capital.
Hi, I'm Diane Carlson, and I'm your co-host for the annual agricultural exhibition, the virtual show we're doing this year for the very first time. The year is 2021. I want to turn it over now to my beautiful co-host, Ms. Maya Palacio. Maya?
Hi, everyone. I'm Maya Palacio, and I'm super excited to be here co-hosting alongside a legend, Diane. And we're going to be doing a lot of walking around, talking to people, and seeing what's going on today in this virtual event. Diane, tell me a little bit about the preparation, about how we got this together.
Well, the committee decided, the show is going to go on, and they've made a huge effort, and so have all the volunteers, to bring in their items that they could. And the judges have agreed to come in, and they're judging everything. So it's up to you and I today to share what's on display here. Unfortunately, the public cannot come to the show. So we're bringing the show to them.
To you. And there's going to be a lot of prizes still. Like we said, judges are going to be here. So we're super excited for people to actually be involved and have you guys be involved, whether you're at home or doing whatever you guys do on this beautiful Bermuda day. So thank you, everyone. And I really hope that you enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Serrano Baston. My name is Ameritra. My name is Jace Cross. My name is Glenn Matthew.
And my name is Miss Florence Sharp. We are a part of
Francis Patton Primary School family.
We participated in this 2021 virtual agricultural exhibition. It was a challenge, but it was exciting. Thank you.
Bermuda Resilience.
Don't worry, later in the show, we're going to see more of Luna the pig.
Well, we're here in what used to be and usually is the VIP section for the ag show at the Botanical Gardens. And there's all seating here and food and the judges from overseas that they bring in here. It always gave me a chance to chat with them and get them on the air when I was doing the radio.
Oh, so you were in VIP.
Well, only because I was working on the radio, not because I was the VIP. But the field here is just full of activity. And, the horses, which people loved, would be out here waiting to come in, and they'd be just sort of cantering around, and they'd come in and do their thing. And just the most beautiful animals. And you could see how the owners put so much care and love into their horses for the show. And then the Western, I have to mention the Western. There's a few people who own horses, and they have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Western gear just for the show. So this is a very special event. And up on the hill here, Maya, there's crowds are just mobbed up there to watch all the horses. And don't forget, of course, the dog shows and other events that take place here.
Yeah.
So this is the main hub of the ag show every year.
Yep, I remember it well.
Tell us about when you were a child, you used to come here.
I remember this, man, I think this is probably the second reason why I want to come to the ag show. First was the donuts, but it was just, I remember being up there, and I'm going to name drop because I remember being my friend Kristen and Naambi and Kizari and all of us getting our outfits together and sitting right up there on that corner edge. I don't know why my memory is just so prevalent to that corner edge, but it is. And just the ambiance and the dog show is probably my favorite. I loved watching the dogs a lot, and the horses were just so majestic and so beautiful. Man, it's just, I know a lot of care goes into horses, so man, just to think about what it would look like right now if it was the horses coming through,
I can picture it too. Yes.
Honestly,
they're ridden, of course, but they're also beautiful carriages that are just meticulous. I mean, the painting on them and everything, the fine detail on the carriages, the upkeep is extraordinary. And then let's not forget the pigs. Everybody loves the pigs, including yours truly, especially the piglets. And one year I stood there interviewing the pigs. I actually talked to the pigs, and the poor mother pig had about 12 babies, piglets. And all I could think of was the time my son was born and the pain. And I was looking at this poor mother with these 12 piglets, thinking what she must have gone through. And these piglets were digging into her. Let me tell you, she just laid there and let them do what they needed to do.
Circle of life, right? Circle of life, honestly. I think the goats probably the cutest, the small little ones as well coming up. Oh man, such great times, good memories of the expedition. Such good memories.
You get such a good feeling coming to the ag show, don't you?
Yeah.
I hope you love goats. More goats are coming up.
Yeah, so I started about 25 years ago, and then I put it on the shelf for quite a while, and I started up again maybe 15 years ago, something like that. Yeah, so anyway, but we got a full house right now, so it's like, it's time to, we've reached our limitations. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so this is all cheese. This is the fresh cheese. So this was milk yesterday. We've got it to room temperature, pasteurized it, got it to room temperature, put in the cultures, let it sit overnight, and then this morning come in, and it's like the curd. We separate the curd and the whey. So this is all the whey coming out here, and we say, come out. We save the whey to feed back to the goats. And so there's whey there. So the whey is the liquid. So the milk splits into two components, the curd and the whey. And so the whey is the liquid component that if you're a cheesemaker, you're not using the whey. When in fact, the whey has all the protein, vitamins, minerals, the whey is, and then the cheese itself is the fat and some of those other constituents. But basically that's how it works. So these are some aged cheeses here, just so you can see we do some other cheeses. These are firm cheeses. And they take a couple of months to ripen in there, and then we cut them up and we sell them. And then this is the so that curd that's hanging there, it just turns into like a cream cheese, and so we mix it with salt and package it up and sell it. Lindo's, Supermart, Miles, Harrington Hundreds, Windy Bank, Watson's. When it comes to what they eat, they're kind of finicky eaters, so they're not people think, oh, I'm going to get a goat and it's going to be like my lawnmower. Ain't going to work that way, man. You're going to have a goat sitting out in your weeds and you're going to be pushing the lawnmower. That's how that story ends. Today, so they come in here twice a day, they jump up, we lock them in, and we milk them. So they're getting fed and they're getting milked at the same time. So once in the morning, once in the evening.
Well, we know there's no activities in the ring this year, but thanks to Jeff Souza, a committee member who has collected footage over the years, I think over 40 years on the show. He's kindly lent our producer excerpts of those things. So we're going to see a lot of activity from previous years, which I think is great fun.
Yeah, and there's going to be some you may have already seen, but you're going to see it throughout the show as well. And we really just want to thank Jeff because we get to see what it used to look like, which is really great because obviously we can't have it right now. So thank you so much, Jeff.
Ag Show committee member Jeff Souza is now going to share a moment from the past.
You probably know about the exhibition and been around since the beginning of its time, right?
Oh my gracious. I've been around for a long time. I mean, I've been intimately involved with the Ag Show since I was 16 years old. I'm 61. But the history of the Ag Show goes back way much longer than that. It goes back 80 plus years. So I do, and most Bermudans have many fond memories of the Ag Show and even how it's transitioned in that, in my case, that half a century. In the beginning, it was, you had your, obviously agriculture, you had your cows and goats and chickens and pigs, and you had things taking place like who was the best plower in Bermuda and bragging rights with that. And I remember in the early days, the J.J. Outerbridge building was packed with flowers, right? There were so many vegetables in the show. I mean, it was just absolutely rammed. And for many Bermudians that won't know where the J.J. Outerbridge building is, that's where we currently have the farmers market. I mean, honestly, rammed. But what I'm happy to see, because we'll see with the education exhibits, which have always been popular, how many of us as children had artwork in the Ag Show and would say to our moms or our aunties or sisters, come on, you got to come up here to see my picture. And you wanted to see your picture up on the wall. Yeah. That's part of our life. The other day, I saw a nice article, it was a newspaper, and it was talking about a young lady that had gone from Ag Show to Masterworks. So, we have all these different things. This has been such a big part of our history, but it has changed. I mean, now it's more of a community event, but we've kept that tradition of Ag Show, because when you ask people, like, what is their favorite, they would say seeing the pigs, because it's not common to see pigs. I remember one year was a difficult one, but people loved it. We had some young men here from the UK, and they were troubled men, but they were good riding the bikes. And as you know, everybody in Bermuda, we love our bikes. And these guys were on scramblers, and they were popping wheelies and doing tricks in the main ring here and stuff. And of course, we had to combine that because you have the horses and different things. So you have to be careful that the horses don't get spooked. Yeah. So this is where all the organizing takes place. And for the average person, they really, on that note, they have no idea what it takes to organize a 3-day Ag Show. And it's always traditionally been Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, never on a Sunday. And it's just so much work. There's security, there's the porta potties, there's renting the tent, organizing the entertainment. It's just so much more than meets the eye. But when it comes together, especially when we have a beautiful day, it's magnificent. It's magnificent.
The commercial slate house, and we're going to be talking about orchids. They're so beautiful and have a lot of history to them. In a moment, we're going to go inside and talk to Diana Doe and Jane Maycock. These ladies are going to say so many things about orchids. Hey, your mind's going to be kind of blown. So get ready and let's go learn about some orchids. Hi everyone, I'm Maya Palacio, and right now I bet you can guess we are inside the orchid house for the virtual exhibition. And this beautiful orchid behind me is made and planted by none other than Diana right here. Diana, tell me a little bit more about these plants. One of them's yours, correct?
Yes, in fact, these three I brought in for the exhibition. This plant here is called a cymbidium, and it's a hybrid. It isn't a species. It isn't a one-off. It's been crossed with other cymbidiums, which makes a different color flower. And this will bloom this time of the year, and generally for about 2 to 3 weeks. This one up here is a dendrobium, and this one sometimes can have lots of flowers depending how many new shoots have come up. And this one will stay in bloom again 3-4 weeks if you're lucky. And it's again a hybrid. And then I have a little one here. This is a phalaenopsis, and this is a again a cross with other plants. And because of the stripes on it, It's called a harlequin type. So when we judge plants, any like that with these lots of stripes, the dark stripes, are judged as a little class on their own. And these are judged either hybrids or species, depending how many come in. And same with these, the dendrobiums will be judged species together and the hybrids together. And then the judge has the decision to pick out best overall. That's always a hard decision.
Well, this is a cymbidium orchid, and it's really rather lovely. The colors are amazing. But the interesting thing about the way orchids grow is that each orchid usually has a specific insect that fertilizes it, and each insect is adapted to the type of flower it has and where it has to go. Mm-hmm. So in this one, the insect would come in here underneath that little face or whatever it looks like. They all look different. And they will put in a long tongue or proboscis in, and the actual development of the seed pod is often in the branch behind, and it opens up and the seeds are behind the flower rather than in the front of the flower. And if you look closely, you can see there's a gap, the hole goes right the way in, and some insects are small, some insects are big, and they're just amazing creatures. And then the orchids all have different looks. Some are called bee orchids because they look like bees. Some are different. Some look like little humans. If you look online and look at the orchids, they're just fascinating flowers.
You're watching the first virtual egg show. Yay!
The kites, as everyone knows, it's like a pretty historical thing in Bermuda to have a kite and know how to make one. So check out these guys here. This one here. What's the name of this guy? This one, 11 to 13 years. Aiden Dyer made this guy. Got the emojis on it, so keeping up with the trend. This one seems like a Somerset. Nope, St. George's kite. Mm-hmm. I like this person. Do not tell me this is nice. Well, that's Teen Wolf. If you know the show, you know the show. Styles from Teen Wolf. This was made by Asia or Asaya Brangman. I like that. A lot of St. George's people doing it up right now. This is a cool color. I actually don't know how each kite, depending on the style of it, how it would fly. I wonder if that differs with the makings of it, because obviously this is not a traditional kite, but it's quite cool. I'd love to see it in the air. What's this guy? Oh, that's nice. Check that. That's pretty cool. Who made this? Henry Evans. Nice, Henry. Very traditional. I love that little tail. The butterflies and these colors are quite gorgeous. I don't know if anyone's into fashion like I am, but I know this light pink is definitely in trend. Very precise on this one. Well done. Look at those edges. Oh yeah, first place, you think. Very well done. Look at that. Clean, precise. Alright, move down the line here. Oh, these are good colors together. I love this pattern. I really want to know what this one's made of. This is some sort of plastic, obviously. Most likely recycled. This is so cool. Just to look at it, though. That's pretty cool. I wonder what it looks like in the sun. Up high. First place, well deserved. Wayne Swan. Oh, another one by Wayne Swan. Did too. Jeez. Okay, one to look out for. Can't wait to see your kites in the future, Wayne. These are pretty awesome. Nice. Another traditional. And some pretty massive ones. Look at this. Harry, Colin Bean. Oh, recycling. A little advertising promo. This is what you guys could do with your bags, see? All those grocery bags. So creative. cricket bat, cricket ball, was that volleyball, and then football. Nice. All right, Dandy Tom. Oh yeah, these are pretty cool kites. Like I gotta admit, well done, guys. Like especially during this time. I'm a little obsessed with rain swan though. I'm not gonna lie. This one caught my eye the very first time I walked in here. So really awesome kites, guys. Really awesome.
Hi again. I'm here with a lovely lady who is a volunteer for the committee for the agricultural show, Kathy Bassett. And we are here in a very special room, the Jack King building. And we have, when we were telling you earlier how important it is to have the students involved, and we have displays here that are going to be judged in the next day or two by students. So tell us more.
Okay. First of all, it's a pleasure to have been asked to serve on the committee. As you know, most teachers have worked with the Ag Show for several years. I've been working with this Ag Show for over 40 years, and each year it gets bigger and better. The difference of the Ag Show this year is that it's virtual, but it was a treat to see so many smiles on children's faces and going to the schools to deliver tags. They'll be out in the yard and said, I'm putting something in the Ag Show this year. What has happened with the COVID? A lot of our kids have been under extreme anxiety. If you could imagine, no ballet dancing, no soccer practice, no birthday parties. And so all of that has definitely taken a toll on our kids. And so this year, although it has been hours and hours of work for the committee and for all of those helpers, we decided to go ahead with the show. Why? Because it gives children and parents a sense of purpose. It gives them something to do. It takes their mind off all of the calamities and all of the things that are happening in their lives. We've got children who were displaced. I was introduced to a little girl this week. She's displaced and she is living in an accommodation that's not her home. So she's going through some stress. We have individuals that have been placed with other family members because the rent could not be paid, all sorts of things. And it's not just in Bermuda. We are experiencing a global pandemic. Therefore, children around the world is facing the crisis that our children are facing. So the Ag Show Committee, headed by Mr. Antoine Alboy, Kirk Kitson, we have Kim White, Jeff Souza, Shanta Simmons. We also have Talia Simons, myself. We also have David Lopes, John, and a host of other folks that make up this committee. We have decided to host this virtual show. And what we have seen is that children, even when they were doing remote learning at home, have taken time to create these beautiful works of art that's taken them literally hours. We have children that have planted. Unfortunately, the plants were left in the schools. We didn't realize the schools were going to be shut down because of this COVID crisis. Plants died. You know what the parents did? Ran out and got more plants. Replanted. The teachers worked with them, helped them to decorate cookies, bought in different types of things that could be used to enhance the cupcakes that they were making, because we're only judging the decorated cookies, decorated cupcakes, and decorated cakes because of the COVID outbreak. So one thing that we're very, very excited about is the fact that our Bermudian children will help to keep the Ag Show alive and well in Bermuda. It is our Bermuda heritage. And one thing that I often say is, if someone does not know their history, they cannot appreciate their present, and they will never have visions for their future. We want this Ag Show to live on. And so although it's taken lots and lots of work on behalf of the teachers who are diligently testing, they're still taking time to call up to ask for instruction. We have a trucker. When we had all of the artwork beautifully done, what happened? Remote learning because of the outbreak of the COVID. This trucker collected all the artwork, could not take it to the place, the Bermuda Society of Arts, where it was supposed to be displayed, because that was closed on. You know what he did? He put this artwork in his living room and it stayed there for over a month.
Wow.
And that's all of this artwork. And we called him up and said, "Little Mother's Day is coming. Did you want us to take it out? Because we didn't want your house to look all cluttered." He said, "It's for the children. It will stay there. People will just have to walk around it." And that was Mr. Alan Wilkinson from River Trucking. So everybody's working together. We have individuals working with us today, young men and young women who have taken off time from their busy schedules to come and help us. What are they doing? Going down there to the gates, making sure people know where to go, giving them maps. This young man right here, early this morning, he was our kite hanger. He took the kites, he got the fishing line, he figured out a way how to get those kites up. Now the kites can be judged. So we have dedication, and it is a unified effort of Bermudians who, and non-Bermudians as well, because we've had a lot of residents that are on the island that still chipped in to assist us. But residents of this beautiful island that want the Ag Show to be alive and well, and to put a smile not only on our children's faces, but also on the faces of others. We can take a few moments out each day to celebrate what we've done and to create something that represents excellence. So it's a pleasure to work with the Ag Show Committee and to work for the people of Bermuda.
So talking about going above and beyond and really helping the community and the children and the arts in this island, Mr. Wilkinson, I just want to thank you for, holding all the children's stuff to your house, having it in your living room, and just waiting for this day to happen to have it here for everyone to view for this virtual exhibition. That's really incredible. What made you do something like that?
I don't know. Just being me. Just being helpful. The generation coming up needs our help. So, but this is such a small thing I did. I didn't think nothing of it. It was just
straight from your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guy, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are still here because there's so much to see. And we have the judges who are judging, but they've taken a moment, bless their hearts, to chat with us. So tell us who you are and what's the criteria for the educational event?
Yeah, so I'm an environmentalist and we also have a teacher. I'm Ann Hyde with Keep Bermuda Beautiful.
Nikisha Hoden, Special Projects Officer for Social Studies, Department of Education.
And so the criteria this year is for the recyclable critters are an animal that's beneficial to Bermuda. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're looking at earthworms and bees and ladybugs and lots of things, bluebirds, lots of things that are beneficial that are recognized as Bermuda icons. And then the children's imagination to come up with lots of other things. We have robots, we have dogs and caterpillars and owls, we have a crocodile, we have lots of different things. So it's so much fun. It's very difficult. It's well done to all the children for putting this all together. We're having a fun time judging. Everybody's had to be really flexible with the pandemic going on. So we're hoping to give everybody a prize.
81st Agricultural Exhibition virtual event is brought to you by lead sponsor Axis Capital.
And so right now we are inside the JJ Otterbridge house, and we're looking at a couple of model gardens. So these are little picturesque things of what a big garden could probably eventually look like. Got a first place winner right here. Check it out. Loving the flowers. Second place. Oh, her name is Maya. It's spelled the correct way. Check out the rainbows and little dogs. Look at this. This one, wow. Creativity off the charts. Wow. You definitely deserve first prize there, Williams. Check it out. You even got the tag to name all the fruit and got the hanging over here. And the tile. Okay. This is adorable. I love this. And the little pots and plants. He's actually so cute. Like I could see having something like this inside, like even your own house. Just you can't take care of a big garden, you know. I could do a little one. That's creative. Look at this. Oh, Bermuda. And innovative recycling. Nice. Carton. And of course the famous moon gate. That's pretty. Oh man. Okay, big credits to having the sand on the bench like that. That is, well, spot on. Spot on. Legos, first place. Well done. Liam. And check it out. Cactus. And more like that. All right. Check out these. These are really creative and fun. So, I mean, something that you actually probably do at home as well, which is really awesome. Get some great ideas that we have right here.
The first agricultural exhibition was held in 1843 at Mount Langton. Governor Reed arranged the show in an effort to stimulate interest in local agriculture. This same year, plowing was first introduced to Bermuda. The farm horse class required horses to use to plow until 1992.
Later in the show, we're going to see more of Luna the pig.
Hi, we're here at the Horticultural Hall where they have all of the cakes and muffins and cupcakes, all the goodies on display. And I have just learned something. I am devastated because we cannot taste them this year. So Karen, tell us why.
So this year, because of COVID restrictions, they have decided that the only thing that will be judged will be the decorated cookies, decorated cupcakes, and special occasion cakes. And we wanted to still highlight the area, and anyone that's coming, we're really just encouraging them to continue to support the exhibition. So all the young people that are out there that are still baking cookies, cupcakes, and cakes, come on out and show us your designs.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to come here for a number of years doing the radio show before this. And I will say that the schools are very active and really, really promote the children and getting involved in the agriculture show and doing the baking. And it's quite extraordinary what you actually see, much better than anything I can do.
Yes. For the high school students, they have traditionally entered most of the special occasion cakes, the decorated cakes, and hopefully we'll get to see that again this year. But we've also encouraged the younger participants in primary school and middle school to enter in their food products, especially decorated cookies, decorated cupcakes, and just decorated cakes in general. It doesn't have to be a special occasion cake.
Well, one of the things a lot of people don't know is that the Agricultural Show Limited is actually a registered charity. And so any profits that are normally made, and obviously not this year, but I just want to make sure people know that, any profits that are made go to local charities. So many people have made an effort to put this event on this year, even though the public can't attend. But at the same time, the message we want to get across to the public is we want more children involved in the ag show. We want them to come and see things. They learn so much. I have learned so much. And also to participate. And you were telling me earlier there's going to be an award for every
Yes. So
display.
what we've decided this year for every, especially primary and preschool participant, we want to acknowledge that they have come through even in difficult circumstances. So they will be getting a rosette, at least a highly commended. And if they're the best in the show, they got a best in the show, first place, and those types of things.
That's exciting. Karen, you representing, in addition to all of your other hats here, you're representing a very special organization.
As part of their award program. So even though it's different and things have gone virtual, at least we will have the participants giving back to the community as they've normally done in years to pass.
It is an extraordinary organization.
Yes,
it really is. Where did Maya go? I bet she's gone inside to get a piece of the goodies.
So there's no tasting this year, but this all smells incredible. Like, you guys have no idea. It smells great. And these really creative cookies are just taking my heart away because I love Pokemon. I really am excited to see everything come in. There's going to be more coming in throughout the day. There's definitely not enough yet, but hopefully tons will come in, and hopefully the winner will let me take a taste of whatever they have on display, because it all looks amazing and great. And I can't believe that these were made by like 10-year-olds even. Like, that's such a good job. I can't even. So hopefully the winner will give me a little piece, but you know, unanimously to myself, I've already listed that I'm best in show. So let's see what happens later in the day.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the rest of the show. Karen, what have you got to share with us before we say bye for now?
Well, I want to encourage everyone, even though everything is going virtual, to support the exhibition when we get to do it again face to face. Enter your exhibits in everything, but especially in the food division. Thank you very much.
We'll be right back after these messages.
The best part of my day is waking up.
It's a passion for you to want to get up early every single morning, 6 days, 7 days a week to go out before the sun comes up.
Bermuda's Reef is very important to us as a people, as a community. It provides for us, it provides food for us. And what I get out of diving and everything that I do is sharing the experience with others.
I love putting my hands in soil, just to work in the open air, touching the soil, planting a product, see it grow, see it mature, harvest it, sell it, and see somebody happy at the end of the day.
Honey is the sweetest natural occurring thing in nature, and the benefits of buying local, you have a high nutrition of food, you have a lower carbon footprint, you have a much closer connection to where the food that you're eating is coming from.
It's definitely more important to support local businesses when it comes to the farmers, the fishermen.
And there is this great movement, farm to table, that's helping out all farmers. And I think there's more desire for local product. And it's tremendously important that we keep what agriculture we have left going.
Hope you're enjoying the virtual egg show. There's still more to come. Next, co-host Maya Palacio rides a horse. You gotta see this.
Hey everyone, so as you know, there's no horses right now at the agriculture exhibition at Botanical Gardens. So we decided to go out and try to find some horses. And we stumbled upon Stardust Stables, and we're going to talk to Alex Correa and her father, Philip Correa, and maybe even ride some horses.
Well, it's really fun as a kid to be at the ag show because it's like you also get to like ride horses at the ag show, and it's like really fun because it's like I love doing it, and it doesn't really matter to me if I win, but it would be really nice if I won. And also like all the tattoos and glitter tattoos and all like fun popcorn and candy at the ag show is really nice, and I really love it. And yeah.
Okay, so Philip, tell me a little bit about your horse relationship and your life. Like, why did you even start?
To be honest, I've been riding horses since I was 5. I started up at Roke Stables. A big portion of my family, I would say, has all been in horses over the years. I was introduced by my godfather and also cousin Eddie Roke. And, I haven't looked back, to be honest. Been doing it for years.
Alexa, tell me a little bit about your pony, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what's his name?
Wintermint, but we call him Minty for short.
Does he compete in any events?
Yeah. We usually do the carriage at the ag show with him, and I usually do
Normally you would compete in the lead line division.
Yeah.
But since the last ag show, it's she's actually gone up a stage because of the age. It depends on what age you are to what division you go in for what Alexa competes in. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to make that step up because of COVID. But, the next time she will be competing in the ag show, she'll be doing a little bit higher division.
Yeah.
Lead line equitation is what she primarily has competed in, which is equitation is based on primarily the rider and their position and rideability and horsemanship and so on and so forth. And it's a good up and coming class for especially young people. So, it's a kind of the foundation to a good rider.
So how many wins have you gotten
In my lifetime?
in your lifetime?
To be honest, that would be a very hard time to answer. I've done well here locally. Competed primarily in Bermuda. It's kind of a hard place to leave in a sense of, Bermuda's my home. So as much as I've wanted to compete full time abroad, it's kept me here. It's beautiful here, so I'm not about to leave.
How many times have you actually competed abroad for Bermuda?
A couple of times. I competed when I was younger in Germany. for the World Jumping Challenge, which was a good event. A couple of us Bermudians went over and did quite well there. And then I most recently competed in Morocco, I would say 3 years ago. And I actually got the silver medal in the division that I was in, and I came second by 1/10 of a second. So it was a very tight and stiff competition, where it's one of those competitions that you're not too sure when you fly to a new country and you get a new horse you've never seen. It's a bit challenging to be a versatile rider on a horse that you've never met.
I feel like I'm trusting these horses in this moment pretty well right now, and I'm kind of excited now. This one's pretty calm now. I've gotten to know it, so I'm kind of ready to ride a horse. What do you guys think? You gonna let me ride a horse? Yes. Oh shoot. Okay, that was a yes. Let's do this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, but since they can read my nerves, I'm gonna try to calm my energy down and have some really good vibes. Definitely coming up to a horse is a lot different. I forgot how big they are. They're massive. So I'm excited. I wanna calm my nerves because I wanna have my Bridgerton moment. If you know, you know.
I mean, I'll ride first, and then we'll put you on at the end.
Good energy, positive
It's
vibes.
good energy, man. I mean, literally, it's gonna.
I'm excited, but I'm nervous.
Once you take the first 2 steps, you're gonna be like, okay, it's no big deal.
All right.
That's what most people say. You know, the first step, you're like, wow.
What do the other people say?
Well, sky's the limit, I guess.
Out of love and passion for horses. So Steph, yeah. So she started riding and just being at the barn several times a week. I said, you know, I'll try it. And then I got into it and I kind of, you know, stayed with it and met Philip, and there's history. now my kids are into it. Yeah. I did compete, yes. Yeah. I never did the big jumps. I think the highest I did was 3.6, which was my limit back then. And I enjoyed it. I had a good horse that, you know, gave me confidence to do that. But, you know, after having time off and having kids, I said, you know what, I'll focus on them. Even just watching them ride in a show makes me nervous. So, you know, the jumping and stuff, I leave it to Philip.
I was saying, like, you have to feel like Prince Charming, just a little bit. I mean, riding around a horse like that, all pressed up and just galloping around. Come on.
The question is, are you ready to ride?
Am I ready to ride? I'm excited, but yeah, I think I'm ready. Still got a bit of a show, even though the ag show isn't officially on. It's still nice to be able to see something like this and watch them train and practice still. No show, but still a show.
You're good, you're good. See, you're on a horse.
I did not mean to curse.
You're on a horse. Okay, now, step number 1 is to relax. Woosah. Okay?
I'm just excited.
Become one with the horse. Don't be afraid. You can touch her. She will most definitely enjoy knowing that somebody's giving her some attention.
Okay.
All right? And if you really want to hold on. Right here? Yeah. That's a safest spot. Okay, now, remember what I told you about 2 steps. After 2 steps, it's going to be like no deal. No big deal. Okay? Relax as of now. So it's really not that big a deal.
Okay,
Okay?
there's a lot of shifting going on.
But it's very consistent. Meaning it feels the same every step of the object is to stay relaxed. Put your legs should walk forward. That's enough, see? She's well trained. And when you want to stop, you pull back on both reins.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to shorten them. Shorten your reins so you get a little bit more control.
What do you mean by short? Like,
Yes, there you go. You got it right. So instead of your hands being here to stop, now you relax all of this. So that way these stay out here. So that way it's a lot easier to use them. So now if you want to turn left, just use very slightly. Just pull left a little bit. There you go. Just once you go near the other horse, just pull left. Keep on pulling left. Don't give up. Okay, yeah, there you go. You're the boy. Good.
Okay. And pull up.
Yeah.
Stop.
There you go. You can handle 100 pounds.
Whew.
There you go.
Yeah, you dismount, you
You
mounted
did-
and dismounted.
By yourself. Look at that.
Thank you very much. Whew. What type of prize did I win for that?
We have a couple of stables to clean.
Okay. That was really fun though. I gotta admit, that was like my heart's like yes, like okay, I can see why this can be an obsession and why people love it so much and do it. So thank you for that. Honestly.
So there are 3 existing riding schools right now. So if you did want to get started, I would suggest call any of them. All of them are good. You know, like I said, once again, you could jump head first. Somebody will guide you along the way easily, and you can get right into it.
So here's my prize, guys. Putting me to work. Got this. All right, Dust, let them know we'll be right back after these messages.
A label as a beekeeper, it's literally just a local advocate for better sustainable life. I'm trying to help restore the island's bee population through holistic management and conservation. Bees play a role in the ecology through supporting biodiversity. The sheer production of the successful pollination that they do for our natural flora and fauna is quintessential. By far, my most favorite part of the job is seeing the bees in their prime, when the abundant trees that are around us are flowering and you can literally hear the bees buzzing as it's an auditorium. Honey is the sweetest naturally occurring thing in nature, and the benefits of buying local, you have a high nutrition of food, you have a lower carbon footprint, you have a much closer connection to where the food that you're eating is coming from. So all around, it's a win-win for everyone.
Agricultural Show Bermuda, maintaining and sustaining Bermuda homegrown, is brought to you by lead sponsor Access Capital, supporting sponsors Chubb, AXA XL, Gorms, and Cox Hallett Wilkinson Limited. Thank you for watching the first ever virtual egg show.
Hi, my name is Tana Hooded Lynch. Me and the Devonshire Brownies are taking a tour of the Watson Farm.
I heard about these.
Yeah.
People say that these are edible.
They are. But they burn a bit.
And today the brownies went to the Watson farm and we had a blast. And we got to learn about vegetables, how they grow, and we got to feed the horse. This is my first. You might be scared.
Where did you get that from? My name is Mari Kimber Rosing Romaine, and today at Watson's farm, I saw ducks, chickens, cows, and horses with some hydro plants, which are grown in water.
And they'll pull all these plants out, and it gets to look like this.
I think we should have a farm in Bermuda because they grow a lot of food to help other people just in case if they don't have any money to buy anything, and they have foods and vegetables.
I was a little scared of feeding the horse, but it's okay. She's a really nice horse, and if you could, I would say you should come to this farm. My favorite part about today was seeing the horse I'm going to feed Pokey.
His name is Pokey. Oh, it's chewing it.
Don't feed it yet. Let it finish chewing.
My name is Camila, and while we looked around the whole farm, we saw horses, chickens, goose, and some sheep. And then we went to look at the eggs after. And then a little boy named Easton, he was shining the eggs and made them walk, and then they looked good, and then he was shooting them out with a machine. It's most important that farms are here because they help. There's vegetables and there's animals and there's peace and harmony everywhere.
He said, "Oh, this is my lucky morning."
Yes, we
All
feed carrots.
sorts of
We don't
good
carrot.
carrots.
We feed you carrot.
We love Boston Farm.
It's a passion for you to be a fisherman. It's a passion for you to want to get up early every single morning, 6 days, 7 days a week to go out before the sun comes up and go out there and try to catch a product to provide to the island. I'm a full-time commercial fisherman, charitable fisherman. I've been doing it pretty much my whole life. I started on the boat when I was probably 5, and now I'm full-time. The spiny lobster has been in our waters forever. It's part of our history. We're going anywhere from 4 to 6 miles off the island, right on the continental shelf of Bermuda. The most rewarding part of my job is going out there after my hard day's work and pulling up a lobster trap, and it's completely full of lobsters. Your eyes pop, you get excited. It's definitely more important to support local businesses when it comes to the farmers, the fishermen. It's something which we need, we have to have, and a fresh product is something which most people have never experienced.
Ag show. I mean, nobody ever calls it the agriculture exhibition. Bermudians will call it either the exhibition. You're going on the exhibition or you're going to the ag show. That's what it's traditionally been called, and that will remain.
So we're back inside the Slat House, and I'm here with Stephen Antonishan, and he's going to tell us about the winners of these beautiful, beautiful orchids that we have here today. As you can see, this one beside me actually won first place for Best Oncidium.
We usually put them in different groups. It's called genera. So we have the Oncidiums here, Cattleyas, Dendrobiums, Cymbidiums, and then we work all the way back up to the very end, which would be our frags or Paphiopedilums. When they judge them, they're looking at the shape of the plant, the leaves. Are the leaves ripped? Are they stained? And then just the shape of the flowers. You can see some flowers. You'll see some of these down here. They're starting to fade. It's just because of the time of the year, and it's just the overall appearance. These are the only two species here. This actually has a really intense smell. It's pretty cool. And this is what would be classified also as a miniature. So these are the species ones here. This is Atroviolaceum. This it's a Latoria type. This is actually the best Dendrobium in show.
Why they have such elaborate names?
What they tend to do with the names, you can always tell. If you look at the name of a thing, this is microchip. The second part of the name is capitalized, means it's a hybrid. If it's lowercase, it's a species. And what they tended to do was either the location of where it was located, or like Lindenii, they'll take the guy's name or the person's name, and then they'll Latinize it. So they'll put maybe a double I on the end. Like there's Parishii over there. A guy Parrish discovered it, so they just put two I's on the end. Kind of it's just the way they do it. These are the rest of the dendrobiums. This is a fairly large genera. I think it's got about 1,600 species. Out of the total in the world is between 33 and 35,000 species of orchids in the world. We're down in the cymbidiums. Most of these, the dendrobiums are all found over in Asia. These mainly China, the cymbidiums here. And these guys, especially like the Phalaenopsis, are temperature driven. So what people will do, they'll probably put ice on those at a certain time of year. Ice. Or put them in a chill room. It triggers the plant to say, I better start making flowers. Really? Yeah. So that it flowers for the spring. They can get pollinated. They can make new babies, and then they move on. So it's all, the Phalaenopsis, these guys here are all temperature driven. If you put them in a warm room, I have a friend in Jamaica. He can't grow Phalaenopsis because he can't get them to flower. They will not flower there. Yeah. He has to get his son to do it in Florida. We're moving on to the Vandas. These are the miniatures. This is in the same family. It's called a Renanthera in Schuttiana. This is what they call, it's on CITES 1. You can't trade the plants worldwide. So you can only get them in flasks. I actually grew that from flasks. They were this big when I got them. So there's...
How long it take it to get like that?
That's been about 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's the second time it's flowered. And this actually is interesting. What happens when especially Phalaenopsis, when they get stressed, they'll make a baby. It's like, it's like, oh crap, I'm going to die. Let me make a baby quick. So they throw kikis out just in case they die. So these are all the hybrid Phalaenopsis. These are the species. Some of them are, unfortunately, the heat's getting to them. This is one of my favorites. This is what they call Parishii. It doesn't get any bigger than that. That's kind of it. And these four here and that are species. This actually was best in show. It's what they call a bulbophyllum. They're down in South America. This is vaginatum. This is a nice specimen plant. She's had this for years and years.
Does it blossom all the time? Like it stays like that?
No, most of the orchids will flower one time during the year. Like this one's on its way out. You're not going to see anything again until next, between Christmas and spring.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we bring in a shipment of orchids. It's usually every June. Last year with COVID, we extended to July, but it's the third Thursday. I think we're doing it Saturday this year, but if you go online, we'll be able, you have all the information. We bring in about 300 orchids, between 3 and 5, depending on the demand. We've kind of cut it down a bit, but that's a good place for somebody to start. I bring in probably 2/3 hybrids, 1/3 species, and we can guide you as to what's the easiest thing to grow. Some of these, like the maxillaria, just put them in a container and they take care of themselves. You don't have to do that much.
Sounds
Really.
like my kind of plant.
Yeah.
Let's visit Inwood Stables and see what Nick DaCosta is up to. Of course, horses need baths too.
And this is Joey. Joey's about to be turned out in the paddock for the night. But this guy, he's retired. He belongs to a boarder of ours. So yeah, he gets turned out in the evenings to avoid the heat. But I think the people miss the ag show more than the horses.
Oh man, look at these roses. You know, Diane, I don't think I've actually ever been gifted a rose before in my life, you know?
Well, you have picked the wrong men in your life. I can tell you that right now.
What about you? You got any roses?
I'm not telling my secrets.
Oh, come on.
There are too many.
I'm jealous.
Oh, you should be. We are here at the Botanical Gardens for the first ever virtual show for the Agricultural Exhibition 2021. And we're standing outside the Rose Society building. And everyone that comes to the show knows about the Rose Society building. This year, they're going to have a fantastic display of Bermudian roses. Those roses that grow best in Bermuda.
Yes.
There's going to be over 80 roses on display.
So a lot of choices for you to choose from to give to somebody.
Now, from me to you, don't ever say again, no one ever gave you a rose.
Thank you. I'll cherish it for life. I'll cherish it for life.
Let's learn more about roses from members of the Bermuda Rose Society.
So we're here at the Agricultural Exhibition, the very first virtual one. And at this present moment, we're actually inside the Bermuda Rose Society. And beside me is Claire Russell. And she's going to tell us all the things that we want to know and learn about roses.
We are in Montrose Mews in the Botanical Gardens, and we are at the annual Agricultural Exhibition virtual style. This is the home of roses, and we have here behind us a specimen bench where we collect, thanks to many, many members and public gardens, people who bring roses for us, an example of every rose that grows well in Bermuda. We also have here the shadow boxes, which are 3D pictures in a frame made out of live material roses. The Rose Society collaborates very closely with the Department of Parks, with the Bermuda National Trust, the Garden Club of Bermuda, and we promote and grow old garden roses predominantly, the Bermuda mystery roses, some modern roses, in a museum of roses. It's called a Museum of Roses, the Rose Repository Garden at Waterville, the National Trust property down on Pomander Road. We propagate roses, we sell roses in order to fund the garden, the Living Museum of Roses. We have monthly meetings, we have a society, we welcome people to join the society. We have produced a book on roses. If you're interested in learning more about roses,
Wow.
we have a book.
How can people actually sign up to be a part of the society?
We have a website, we have a Facebook page. People can message on Facebook. They can send a message through the website. And we'd be absolutely delighted to welcome anybody. We're a very inclusive group. The only prerequisite is you want to learn about roses and you're passionate about roses. We all consider ourselves incredibly fortunate to have a deep passion for roses. You can see I get quite emotional about it.
I have a question because I always want to know, what was the start and the symbol of actually giving the person that you love a rose? Do you know why that started? Why rose symbols like love?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I think there are probably as many answers to that question as people who pose the question. But I will tell you something interesting about a particular rose. There is a rose on the bench, which is a polyantha. It is called Cecile Brunner. Many people call it the sweetheart rose, since we're talking of love. It's a beautiful little pink bud. And I happen to know that my paternal grandfather brought that rose to Bermuda back in the very early turn of the century.
Wow. How does that feel? Like, because I know you're part of the society and obviously you love roses, and to know that type of history in your family.
Well, the thing about the Bermuda Rose Society is we actually know an awful lot of history about every single rose that grows well here in Bermuda. And the mystery roses, why are they called mystery roses? Because we don't actually know anymore the true name. The varietal name has been lost to time. They've been in Bermuda, I don't know, since the 1700s, perhaps earlier. And since we don't know the actual varietal name, the proper variety, we give it the name, the person who grew it, or the place where it was found. Like we have a rose called Smith's Parish. We have a rose called St. David's. We have a rose called Miss Atwood. Who was Miss Atwood? Well, it's all in the book, the history of these roses and the people who grew them and the names that they gave to their roses, which they're now known by these names, is in our book. And the other thing that's, we feel Little Bermuda, if you think Little Bermuda, we're what, 24 square miles, 20 square miles, or whatever it is. Our Bermuda Mystery Roses are world renowned. If you look at the American Rose Society's big tome of books, of roses, and they list all the known varieties, because the mysteries aren't known varieties, they have the very front page is devoted to the Bermuda Mystery Roses. So we're very well known for these special roses. And if you want to see them, you need to go down to Waterville and the repository garden that we keep there. We have about 87 different varieties growing there. We tend them weekly, the members. And we've just partnered with the Duke of Edinburgh, the ward, and we're now mentoring young people to learn about roses, and we're really actively wishing to expand our youth mentorship program with the Duke of Edinburgh or outside of the Duke of Edinburgh. In fact, there were 6 young people who would like to have entered the competition bench in roses.
I like going to the egg show to see the animals. I like making art for the egg show. I love eating cotton candy at the egg show. I like eating snowballs at the egg show. I love the animals and candy. I love the animals at the egg show. I like the pigs at the egg show. I like the snacks at the egg show. I like the cotton candy at the egg show. I like the dogs at the egg show. I like the cotton candy. I like about the egg show is the dogs that do tricks. I like about the egg show is to see the pigs. I grew lettuce in my garden for the egg show this year. I grew marigolds for the egg show this year. I'm getting ribbons at the egg show. I like the flowers there. They're nice. I like them. My favorite part of the egg show is seeing the horses race and jump. My favorite thing about the egg show is seeing all the animals and how the people dance and stuff. My favorite part of the egg show is I like to see the chickens. My favorite part of the egg show is how much people go into the egg show and be creative about what they do. My favorite thing about the egg show is seeing all the bunnies. My favorite part of the egg show is the food. I am doing decorative cupcakes and cookies. I'm entering decorative cupcakes and cookies too. I like taking the day off from school to go to the egg show. We love going to the egg show!
Wow, so we just learned a lot about roses, more than I ever thought that I'd know in my lifetime. But we're not quite done yet because we've got a lot more to learn about roses. So we're going to throw it over to the ladies and they're going to tell us a bit about the specimen bench.
The Bermuda Rose Society Specimen Bench showcases roses that grow well in Bermuda. The Society promotes these roses and encourages people to grow them. There are a number of different classes of roses that grow particularly well here, especially old garden roses.
Unique to Bermuda and world-renowned are the Bermuda Mystery Roses. These roses are called Bermuda Mysteries because their original names are unknown. Many of Bermuda's mystery roses have been named after the people that have found them or places, like Smith's Parish. Smith's Parish is one of my favorite roses because each rose is slightly different. The blooms are white, but with streaks or spots of vivid crimson or deep pink.
China roses are delightful to grow in your garden. Not only do they bloom most of the year, but the blooms become darker as they age. Archduke Charles, for instance, has so many different shades of pink all flowering at the same time. It's locally known as Seven Sisters.
If you like to put cut roses in the house, you may like to plant tea roses. One of my favorites is Rosette de Lizy. Its double blooms have deep pink petals encircling a creamy yellow center. And one of the longest lasting roses in a vase is Papa Gontier, with its open red bloom, sometimes with flecks of yellow.
If you'd like fragrant roses in the garden, plant some noisette roses. For example, Lamarck has an exquisite lemony scent. Bourbon roses also have a delightful scent. Two bourbon roses that grow well in Bermuda and flower most of the year are Souvenir de la Malmaison and Souvenir de St. Anne's, both a pretty shade of very pale pink.
If you have a place in your garden for a trellis or arbor, consider growing a climber or rambler. Many of these bloom from April to June, but Bee's pink cluster, a Bermuda mystery climber, flowers sporadically throughout the year with many clusters of purplish pink roses. If you don't have a garden, polyanthers like Lovely Fairy or miniatures like Red Cascade grow well in pots. Another miniature, Pom Pom de Paris, also grows well in a hanging basket.
In the modern roses class, a few varieties grow well here, including Laughter, Carefree Beauty, Bishop's Castle, and Heritage, which are both David Austin roses, Lady Waterloo, and Cecile Brunner.
Lots more information and fascinating facts and history about these and many other roses can be found in the Society's book, Roses in Bermuda Revisited. Do visit the Bermuda Rose Society's website, rosesinbermuda.com, enjoy the Society's repository garden at Waterville, and consider joining the Bermuda Rose Society. The shadow box is a way of displaying a rose arrangement to look like a still life painting with a three-dimensional effect. It is believed that the shadow box concept is unique to Bermuda. Locally grown roses should predominate in the arrangement, although other flowers and foliage can be used, especially those belonging to the rose family.
Maya, I actually have a book with me here. This is Roses in Bermuda.
Is that the same flower?
It is actually the same flower. This is Bermuda Yellow Mutabilis. It's a fabulous story because there was a lady who lived in Pitts Bay Road, and her name was Jean Watson, and she had a fantastic collection of roses, and she had a rose Mutabilis, which is on our specimen bench. It's a very salmon color. Mutabilis grows worldwide, very well known. And one day she found on this plant of salmon roses a pure yellow bloom. And this is exactly what it looks like, the front page of the book. And here's the yellow Mutabilis as well. My mother, who's also passionate about roses, was at the Rose Society meeting, and she asked permission to take it back because Mrs. Watson had brought it to the meeting as a cut rose. My mother took it home and propagated it and created a new plant with roots and everything. And it is now registered in the Modern Roses tome by the American Rose Society. It's called Bermuda Yellow Mutabilis. So Bermuda right out there, front and center with roses. Wow. Yes.
The Silver Farming is a family-owned business, and we have 3 generations on the crew. My dad started farming for over 40 years now, and I have continued to follow his footsteps. And I just love farming. I mean, it's not easy work. You need a good back to work in the farm. I love putting my hands in soil, just to work in the open air, touching the soil, planting a product, see it grow, see it mature, harvest it, sell it, and see somebody happy at the end of the day. We try at the farmers market, try to grow a range of different products, and the people love to see that fresh product coming out We pick, Thursday, Friday for sell on Saturday. It's much healthier, fresher to buy local.
You hear that? I'm pretty sure I'm at the petting zoo up in Southampton right now. Yep. And since we had to do a virtual exhibition and your kids couldn't see all the animals, we're here to bring the animals to them right at your home. Check it out. Is anyone here? Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Oh my God.
Welcome to the farm.
Look at the goose. Yes. It's called a kid, right? Because it's still so young.
It is. This is Ketchup. He's one of our first bottle baby goats here on the farm. Would you like to hold him?
Please, can I? Hi. Oh my gosh. Starting out early already. Look how cute. Look how cute you are.
You can come on in and I'll show you all the animals we have here today.
Sweet. Especially this little kid right here.
Yeah. They're all very friendly. First we have Luna right here.
So what about names? Do you guys name any of the animals?
Name all the goats, all the sheep that are up at Southampton Princess, and then a couple of the rabbits. But like the kids will come through and name everything else.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is a mama rabbit. She'll pull out all her fur. Oh. And then because she knows me, I can come in and hang out with her.
Look, I'm trying to put my hand
Good
in there.
babies. So you see them right?
Oh.
Can you see them?
Are they hiding?
Yeah. I like that warmth.
Oh.
So these guys are only a few days old. They just got their little whites in. Their eyes are still closed. They'll open up in about 2 weeks. When they're 2 weeks old.
So how did you even start with the petting zoo? Like, how did this begin?
Yeah, the petting farm started off as a hobby. We had a few animals. And I always worked in the community, providing services to kids, camps, and birthday parties. So I thought I would expand and just keep adding a bunch of animals. It's our lane keep as well. So we might have a chicken in here. A hen. She's here. She does not leave the nest box, so she's probably a bit broody. But But this is a black copper Moran. She lays the brown eggs. So she's got the copper head, the feathery feet. And she's just a pretty decent looking bird. So she's a standard size breed.
Do all chickens lay eggs?
Yeah, they do. So all chickens do lay eggs. So when they get about to 5 months old, they will start laying, and it's pretty cool. Their first eggs are either like really small or like double the size, just super inconsistent. And it's fun to see. This is one of our roosters. He's actually our black copper Moran rooster. All our roosters are out right now, so they do look a bit scruffy. 3 of each breed. So, I don't even have obviously, she has not been handled in a long time. So they're all handled as chicks by our camper. So we'll usually time our incubator hatches with camp. We missed spring camp, so we missed a couple birds last year and this year. So these guys are crescent cream leg bars. She's got her crest right on top of her head here, nice and pretty. I think we might be the only ones with these ones on the island now as well.
They almost look like a crow.
So
I was like, yo.
I'm not positive on it's either a Mari or a Mani Kamani bird. I can't get the names. But everything is black, so they're melanistic. So even like we got a little cut. But she's really friendly. The camp kids hand raised her, so she'll jump up into your arms when she's hungry. One for her son, she shines. Ooh, wow. Look at that color. Yeah.
You gonna hold her?
Can I hold her?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Oh, okay. Heavier than I thought, to be honest. I don't know why I thought they were just feathers so really light, but look at you. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Hey, wow, let's go see what else they have.
I can't emphasize how important the Ag Show has been to all of us. And personally, I feel it's Bermuda's largest community event where all of Bermuda gets involved. You truly see the mosaic that makes up Bermuda at the Ag Show. And who didn't, back in the day, I won't say my age. Well, actually, I'm 61 years old. I can go back 50 years and remember I wanted to have, my nice painter's pants on or my, army pants on and a shirt, because everybody knows walking down that strip down there, that was the place to be, because you came here to check the girls out. It was always getting that cotton candy or malasage or your shirish and seeing the pigs. That's all part of what makes the Ag Show so special. I'm sure many people met their girlfriends, their wives today at the Ag Show. It's a 3-day event that we really missed this year, just like we've missed Carnival. We're missing, hopefully we're not going to miss Carnival. Cup match, I'm sorry. But the Ag Show is just such a huge part of our history, and I'm happy to see it still doing alive and well.
So now about to head into another section of the petting farm here at Wild Island Zoo. Kristen, what exactly are we going to look?
Well, we are heading out to our woodland area. And we have our goats up here, our donkey Cassie, and usually a couple of our sheep. And you can come on in. Let's go, let's go. Whoa, look at all these spots. Yeah. That's cute. So these are our most well-behaved goats. So they get to come out usually for every tour. Yeah, look at all these goats. Like our low numbers. So Sassy's been with us for about 3 years. She's only 3.5 years old, and we got her in from the United States. We flew her in on an airplane. So she's been in the sky, and she's pretty happy donkey.
She's well traveled, I see.
She is, and she loves running around with the goats. She thinks she's a donkey.
This is honestly so cool.
I love them all. So with camp, we'll let all the goats out. So they have to be at least like 6 or mature 5-year-old. And they are just hanging out with the goats all day. And like breaking up. So you might notice they have horizontal eyes here if you look closely. That is because they are prey animals, and usually prey animals have those type of eyes to increase their peripheral vision, so they can see from side to side. So we have sheep as well. They are actually professional landscapers up at Southampton Princess. So if you ever have any time, you can drive through, see if you can spot the sheep. Take a picture and let us know. Give us a tag.
Okay, so Kristen, tell me exactly if people want to come down there and visit all these amazing little animals and pets, where can they sign up to come home?
Yeah, we're pretty open, so we actually offer a few different services. So we have our regular petting farm tours, which can either be for your private groups or for just like a sign-up tour. You can join any family group. And then we also have class tours, birthday parties, and camps. So you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. We're at Wild Island Farms, or you can find us on our website after these messages.
I've always been surrounded by the ocean, always had an affinity and a respect and appreciation of the ocean. But I'd say I actually fell in love with the ocean when I finished my first scuba dive when I was about 26, 27 years old. When I'm in the ocean, most of the time, I'm working with ocean conservation. The lionfish is an invasive species in this part of the world, and what we're seeing already on our shores and in the region is they're consuming commercially viable species and species that are very important to the reef as well. Bermuda has a small but growing community of very avid, very passionate lionfish cullers, and we get together as often as we can to come together and do our best to get as many of them out of the ocean and off of our reef if possible. The silver lining in this whole story is that lionfish are edible. It's a very light, white, flaky meat, very similar to hogfish or even snapper. The ocean is our backyard. It provides for us. And we have an invasive species that is doing really terrible harm to our ecology and our system. Get out there, get in the water, harvest your dinner, catch as many lionfish as you can, because around here, we eat them to beat them.
To that.
We want you to remember to recycle and stop throwing plastic in our ocean. Bermuda resilience!
My proudest moment with the Ag Show was when I spearheaded this and took this to the public-private partnership we have today. It's one of the proudest things I've done in the country. And here we see this very successful public-private partnership, and it shows you we as a community can do it. I feel personally we need to do much more of this in Bermuda. We are a registered charity. We have an incredible board, and we do so much. We have incredible sponsors that come on board, and we've seen our success for the last several years. In particular, we just look at the last time we had a live show in 2019. It was phenomenal.
What does it mean to even like have the Ag Show be, like you said, it's a registered charity? I don't think most people know that. So like, what would you say to get people to give, to help, to tell us where exactly does like the funds go into?
Well, you know, people over the years have been very generous. It's amazing. And of course, I've learned this firsthand, how much international business already contributes to our society. So when you have something that has a good structure like we have, many of these firms like Access, who are one of our title sponsors, they were more than happy to contribute to this because they know it's a huge community event with lots of history. So they came on board. And we found, you know, like in the very beginning, the Green family, as we've seen, they've been very generous with so many things in this country. From out of the gate, they contributed was $10,000 or $15,000. But we've seen most international businesses and local businesses want to get on board because this is successful. It is one of Bermuda's largest community events, and we feel it can just grow and get bigger and bigger. And as you said, because we are a registered charity, we're putting money back.
Okay, do you think that they'll allow me to actually try that on? Because honestly, this hat is looking very cute. Who made it? Liam Stones. I think Liam actually had something over there with the model gardens as well. Fabulous top hat, well executed. I could not agree more. Look at that top hat. This is adorable. I could definitely see like this is a very church vibe, Easter Sunday vibe, giving me good green coloring. I love it. Vibrant hat. Yeah, exactly. This here, and it's giving me fairy vibes, like in the forest fairy, which I love. Lovely floppy hat. Look at this. You got second place. Yeah, very well done. Check it out. Oh, and this one. Oh man, what are these type of hats called? I cannot remember. Design and good use of texture. I know that like the little cute things that the women used to wear way back in the day. I saw my grandma has like tons in pictures from back in the day. So this is awesome. These are cool hats. All right, guys. Well done.
We're here at the Horticultural Hall at the Ag Show, and this is where the Garden Club of Bermuda displays all their flowers each year. And this year they have a wonderful display. It's not judged, but the members have volunteered to put it on. I've learned since I've been here that it's the Garden Club's 100th year, and that was on April 4th. They had a big party planned. Unfortunately, they've had to delay it, but they do plan to do it sometime during the year. They've been very active celebrating the 100 years, including doing some flower displays in Hamilton. I think many of us saw the bird cage, beautifully done. And on the corner of Reed and Burnaby Street, they had a splash. They're doing many different things throughout the year. You can find out all about it. If you're interested in the Garden Club, look for their website. There's lots of good information. And today is very special. We even have a cake here on display celebrating the 100th year. We're here chatting in the Horticultural Hall. This is Deborah Burville, and she's in charge of the display for the Garden Club of Bermuda. And it's a very special year in addition to that. So a lot going on, and the displays are just breathtaking. So tell us more.
Well, this year is the Garden Club of Bermuda's 100th anniversary, and we're celebrating the whole year. We've done flower flashes, and normally we have a competition here for the Ag Show, but this year we decided just to have a floral display, a celebration of our 100 years, and floral art over the years. So we have traditional designs, contemporary designs, modern, we have crafts, we have miniatures, ikebana, and it's all on display here.
It's about membership. I know Garden Club is very keen on developing young membership, more of a young membership, because I know you have some already, of course.
Yes, we would love to have more younger members, but we found that it starts in when they're young in the schools or in gardening programs. We have a few gardening programs that the Garden Club has with some of the public schools. And when children become interested in gardening, then they develop an interest in flowering and flower arranging. And then they can come and enter the ag show normally for the children's flower arranging. And we will have a workshop that they can attend to go through how they start and how they go about it. And we encourage all young children to become involved.
Very
We
good.
would love to have them.
Now, for them to reach out and be able to get information, how do they do that so they know where to go, when to go, where to go?
For the ag show, it's the ag show.
Yes, okay.
But for the Garden Club, they can just go onto the Garden Club of Bermuda website and check and find out. Just contact anyone there or email us and we will be in touch.
All right, so obviously you can probably hear exactly where we are right now. But Kristen, tell me a little bit about these sheep.
Yeah, here are our sheep. These are our South African Dorpers, and they are up here landscaping for South Hunting Princess. We will move them around. They're very loud, as you can see, noisy, and they are always hungry and can always stop by, maybe drop off a banana peel or two. But here I have their grain, and we'll just Oops.
All right, so thank you so much, Kristen. You got some feet on your nose. But thank you so much
everywhere
for having us here with the sheep and at your farm. Oh my gosh, it's been quite an experience. I mean, I'm happy and excited. So I really encourage you guys to come down to the Wild Island Farms, Bermuda. Honestly, it's so great how much they care for these animals, how loved they are, how free they are to roam around. It's quite amazing to see. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It was wonderful having you guys, and hope you all can join us soon. Yay!
The agricultural exhibition, as its name implies, is an agricultural event held for a 3-day period in late April at the Botanical Gardens National Park in Paget Parish. It currently consists of school exhibitions, floral shows, animal exhibits, and equestrian programs, all related to Bermuda's agricultural heritage.
I have not been in this maze since I was probably like 10 years old. It's been a while, guys. But I just really want to thank Parks and Recreation, honestly, and I also really want to thank the Agricultural Exhibition Committee because this has been amazing. I know it wasn't what we're used to as an island, as a culture, but we're able to still bring something to you guys at home, and I think that's really great. And also thank you to Noah's Ark for introducing us to some people that we could talk to so we could bring you guys the pets and the animals and things like that. And Janazi's especially, thanks for helping me with my looks and my hair just to get it all together. Again, culture means everything here on this island, so really grateful that I was able to bring something to you guys. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm gonna go back in the garden now.
Agricultural Show Bermuda, Maintaining and Sustaining Bermuda Homegrown is brought to you by lead sponsor Access Capital, supporting sponsors Chubb, AXA XL, Gorham's, and Cox Hallett Wilkinson Limited. Thank you for watching the first ever virtual egg show.